What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I love to talk about all things Peloton cycling and fitness. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday. And today's video, I am exploring a new collection. It's been out for a while. They're always adding to it, but I was looking through the collections and I noticed this low impact cardio collection. The description is, welcome to low impact cardio. This cardio workout on the mat is designed to get your heart rate up using familiar aerobic exercises. These classes are high energy, low impact, and require no equipment. See you on the mat. And it is run by Rebecca Kennedy and Callie Gullickson. And I like both of them. And I thought that this was interesting. I still love running, I still love cycling, but I am intrigued to find kind of a third cardio source. I would love rowing, but I do not have access to a rower. So I figured I would try this out and see how I like it. I like the idea of something being low impact. So there are 17 classes in this collection right now. I'm not going to take all 17, but I figured I would take a couple different links, a couple different instructors, and give my thoughts on if I think low impact cardio is worth doing over running or cycling. So today I'm just going to get right on into it. I'm going to do a 15-minute low impact cardio class by Rebecca Kennedy from April 17th, 2024. So fairly recent. It's tagged intermediate, which I think is interesting. You don't need weights, you just need the workout mat. I'm curious what this class will be like, and only one way to find out. Let's hit the mat and knock out this low impact cardio class. That class was different than I thought it would be, but I did enjoy it. It's actually, in my opinion, very similar to the dance cardio classes. Maybe just a little more structured, a little less dance moves and more cardio. I don't know, it gives me very much Zumba vibes, but I do like the dance cardio classes, so I like this as well. I kind of wonder if every low impact cardio class is like this, or if this was just kind of a special one that was more dance focused. But basically there were 4 songs, and we started off in the first song doing 3 moves, and then every song we repeated those 3 moves and then added a couple more moves on. So by the end, we had a full dance. Now the dance itself, I don't know if you consider it art, if you consider it pretty, but it was just a bunch of cardio moves, which no complaints. We are trying to do some low impact cardio. There were some punches, which I'm not the biggest air boxing person, but I feel she broke it up with some other moves that I thought it was fine. We did grapevines, we did some squats, not a lot, but a couple. So we were getting the whole body moving. And I would say that the squats probably made it intermediate, but really anyone could follow along, and you can always modify whatever we did. We only did it a couple times, so it was never do a minute of bodyweight squats or something like that. In terms of heart rate, my average heart rate was 109 and my best was 131. And I would say that's pretty similar to me going on a casual walk. So definitely cardio, but not super, super intense cardio. I did have to go slowly and stop when I was learning the moves. You would march in place, but that really lowered the heart rate. So I feel maybe if I went a little bit harder, I could get my heart rate up a little bit more and, get some more cardio in. But I don't think that it's ever going to be super, super intense cardio, at least with this class. But it was still enjoyable, definitely low impact, good on days that, you don't want to do something super high impact, but you just want to get your body moving. And if you like the dance cardio classes, yeah, I would highly recommend this class. Enjoyability, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was nothing amazing, but it was enjoyable. The music was good. Rebecca was great. We learned a little dance and then we were out there. Difficulty, I would give it a 4 out of 10. Most of the moves were pretty easy in my opinion. There were a couple though that were, a little bit harder. We did squats, we did some of the rolling back and forth. That requires some abs. We did do a couple of harder moves, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty easy, pretty fun, pretty chill class. It is now a few days later, it's Tuesday morning, and I'm ready to get into the next low impact cardio class. And I'm gonna mix it up with the length and instructor today. So today I'm gonna do a 20-minute low impact class tagged intermediate by Callie Gullickson from March 29th, 2024. So new instructor and a little bit longer. I'm interested to see the difference between Callie and Rebecca and, get a little bit of low impact cardio in. And I didn't mention this last time, but last time I rolled out my mat and it actually kind of got in the way because we were doing like some movements where you had to twist your leg, and I need to be on hardwood floor to do that. So I'm gonna try not rolling out my mat this time and see if we need it. Obviously, if we need it, I'll just like pause the class and roll it out. But if you don't need a mat for these classes, that'd be super nice because it really opens up where you could do them. But we'll see. I really don't know what to expect with Callie. You can't actually see the class plan for these classes. It just lists cardio. So we're really going in blind on this one, but I do trust Callie. So let's hit the mat and knock out this 20-minute low impact cardio class. That class was definitely similar to the first class, but also different, which I like. So there's something for everyone. First off, when we started, before the class even started, Callie is like, we're never gonna like go down to the mat. She had a mat out, but like Peloton instructors always have mats. So that was nice that just from like starting, that that's not expected. You're gonna be standing the whole time. And, I am a fan of standing. So I was happy when she said that. So the structure of this class was essentially 30 seconds of one move and then 30 seconds of a different move. And we would repeat that until a new song came on. And then we learned 2 new moves. And the last song at the end, we did like all of the moves together. But for the most part, it's not like a dance that you're building on. Like Rebecca Kennedy's class, you were doing, 4 reps of something and then you had to remember what the next move was. This one is definitely like less dance-like and more, you're just doing cardio moves. So if you don't really want to think, I think this class is easier because you only have to remember 2 moves at a time and then just like switch in between the 2. My average heart rate was 105, while my average heart rate for Rebecca's class was 109. So I guess this one was a little bit easier. I kind of attribute to it like not mixing up the moves every 10 seconds. I do think that spikes your heart rate a little bit more. But for the most part, they're basically the same, like 105 and 109 is very close. Callie also said at the beginning of the class that the goal was to stay in zone 2. I was mostly in zone 1. Callie did give modifications, but the modifications were essentially like go off beat and just go faster. And I mostly stayed on beat. I mean, I do like doing the cardio moves on beat, and that's what Callie defaulted to most of the time. But she was like, oh, if you like want it to be more intense, you can always go faster. But the moves were, pretty basic. Some of them were similar to Rebecca Kennedy's moves. There were some punches, there were grapevines. I think the most difficult move we did was like a lunge and then bringing up our arms as we came out of the lunge. But essentially she's like, you can go as deep or not deep as you want. So even then there was a lot of modification. I really don't think that this should be tagged at an intermediate level. I feel like it could discourage people from taking it. And I truly believe like anyone could take this class. Like Callie gives modifications. You can always go slower. Like you can definitely do this class and be fine. But overall, the music was fun. It was all like 2000s, 2010s pop. And Callie was in a great mood and it really passed by. Like you really get into these moves and all of a sudden it's been 20 minutes and you got a little cardio workout in. Difficulty today, I would give like a 4 out of 10 as well. I think that it's probably about the same cardio level as Rebecca, but it's a little bit easier to follow since we're not switching moves as much. Enjoyability, I would give like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I mean, at the end of the day, you are doing 30 seconds blocks of cardio movements and there's no way to get around that. But I feel like the music was good, the vibes were good, we were getting a little cardio in, and overall it was a fun class. I would definitely take it again. And I really like that both of these were standing classes. So that definitely bumps the enjoyability up a little bit more for me. It is now 2 days later, and we're ready for another low impact cardio class. And today we are going long. I believe this is the longest class offered. It is a 30-minute low impact cardio class, tagged intermediate. We're going back to Rebecca Kennedy from December 20th, 2023. So we'll see, maybe there'll be some Christmas music. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we do with a little more time. If Rebecca's structure is like similar to the first one I took by her. I'm just interested. And of course, we're going to get a little low impact cardio in. Should be a fun time. So let's go and knock out this class. The class today was definitely my favorite low impact cardio class to date. Also, the hardest in my opinion. I think this does deserve the intermediate tag. My average heart rate was 119, so 10 beats per minute higher than my last highest heart rate in low impact cardio. So we're definitely getting up there. We were in zone 2 like 20% of the time. I think the goal is zone 2 all the time, but still, the fact that I'm even getting into zone 2, this class amped it up. Basically, the structure was 3 9-minute blocks where we did 3 different moves and we repeated it 3 times. And the moves were a little more involved in my opinion, but they were like similar vibes to the other low impact cardio moves we've done. Like this wasn't crazy different, but for example, we did things like a bouncing lunge and then bringing our knee up in front of us. We did like side squats where the whole time Rebecca gave modifications and she's like, you can go as low as you want to. But like if you're going low into a side squat, like I consider that to be a hard cardio move. And a lot of things where we were moving like both our legs and our arms. Some of the moves are a little hard for me. I was like messing up and I'd have to restart. I also think that sometimes Rebecca was like doing not exactly the correct move because we did a lot of things where we would do like one side, the other side, and then the first side twice. And sometimes I think she was messing up too, or I wasn't paying enough attention where I was like getting off beat with her. But for the most part, I did really enjoy it. I like that this was like not dance focused. For me, I just want to like follow the move for a long portion of time, stop and then switch to a new move. So this class was really great for that. Like you could really have your brain off and just do whatever Rebecca was doing in front of you and like not have to worry about switching to a bunch of different moves. So enjoyability, I would give it like a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this one. I would definitely come back to it. I think it's great if you don't have a mat. Rebecca also commented at the beginning that there's no jumping in these classes, but some of the modifications she gave in this class did jump if you wanted to make it harder. I usually didn't take those modifications. Maybe if I did, I would have been in zone 2 more, but I honestly felt like this was a good enough workout as is. Difficulty, I would give like a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. At the end of the day, this is like low impact cardio. You know, we're not doing burpees, we're not doing weighted moves, but we were doing some harder moves, definitely harder than the last 2 classes that I took, and it kept the heart rate up. So feeling very good today. I also like the 30-minute class. It really passed by quickly. I was worried it would drag a little bit, but in my opinion, it didn't at all. So today was a good day for low impact cardio. It is now a couple days later. It's Sunday morning and we're ready for another low impact cardio class. And last time I went long with the 30-minute class. So this time I'm going to go short with the shortest possible class, which is a 10-minute low impact cardio class. And I chose one by Kelly Gullickson, tagged intermediate, from January 26, 2024. I feel like usually when you start low impact cardio, your heart rate doesn't like spike up that much, but it's like continuously doing it that the heart rate builds. But we only have 10 minutes in this class. So I'm curious to see like what we do with the 10 minutes, if I think it's an effective 10-minute class. But I'm excited. I like Kelly. The vibes have been good. So let's knock out this 10-minute low impact cardio class. I really liked that class. As soon as we got into it, like no warm up, we were really going for it. And it was very easy to follow. The way that Kelly had it structured where there were 3 songs, each song had a move. And yeah, that's it. We just learned the move and we got right on into it. And even from the beginning, that's what we were doing. The moves were definitely designed to really get your heart rate up. There were no moves that I thought were just kind of like filler, where I did feel like that in some of, the longer classes. So the first move was like backstepping and then, bringing your chest down to the ground. And I feel like that really spiked up the heart rate. Then the next move was like raising your knees different ways and stepping back and forth. And the final move were kicks and punches. So we were working the whole time. And the way that Kelly had set it up is we first did it in tempo to the song. And like the song was not a slow song. Like one of the songs was Too Close. That song is a fairly fast beat to be doing this on. And she called doing it on beat, on tempo. And then she's like, oh, like let's push tempo, go even faster. And I'm like, I cannot go any faster. Like these moves I had to think about a little bit. Sometimes I could get in a rhythm, but it was like really easy for me to get thrown off. So I was just going tempo the whole time, and I still thought it was a very effective, like little 10-minute cardio workout. My average heart rate was 122 BPM, spiking at 141 BPM, and that is the highest average. I can really attribute to that to having there just be no time to waste, and I was in zone 2 for 35% of the class, which I feel like is pretty good. So overall, I like this class. Definitely harder just because it is a little more fast-paced in my opinion. I do think the moves aren't that hard, but following along on tempo is more difficult. So I understand the intermediate rating. I think difficulty, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. I mean, it's still cardio, but yeah, you're gonna get your heart rate up. You're gonna have to pay attention. The moves are a little tricky. Enjoyability, I would give like an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this class. I mean, it flew by. Like it felt like it just started and then we finished. It is a short class, 10 minutes, but we were in, we were out, we got a little workout in. It was effective. It was a good class. Love Callie. And yeah, this one was one of my favorites. It is now the next day, and I figured I would do one more class to round out this video of low impact cardio, and I thought I would do the hardest rated one just to see, if it is any harder. I will say the difficulty ratings on these are all like pretty similar. They're all between like 5 and 6.3. So this one is 6.3, and I did 2 others, the 30-minute and the last 10-minute class that were 6.2. So I don't expect anything like super crazy out of this class, but I figured I would do it. So today is a 20-minute low-impact cardio class, tagged intermediate by Rebecca Kennedy from May 24th, 2024. So pretty recent. I've liked all the classes I've taken so far, so I think that this one will be no different. So let's go knock out this last low-impact cardio class. I was not overly impressed with this class. I definitely like the 30-minute class and the 10-minute class more. I do understand why it has the highest difficulty rating though, and it's not because like the cardio was super hard. It's because there's almost like a little bit of strength mixed in. So you might like that depending on what you want, but my average BPM was only 109, so lower than some of the other classes that I've taken. But we did some moves like standing bicycles, so you're getting a little bit of an ab workout. We only did that for like a minute and then never came back to it. And we also did some like different, either just straight up body weight squats mixed in with kind of like dance cardio moves, or kind of like squatting and shuffling. Like there was definitely a squatting element to this class. Now she does say you can like go down less, so there are modifications for it. I don't mean to say that to like dissuade you from taking the class, but just be aware, and you might like that if you want like a little bit of strength mixed in with your cardio. Then I would recommend this class. You would probably like it a lot. For me, it was just okay. It was definitely like more dancey than some of the other classes, but it wasn't as much as the first one where you're like straight up learning a dance. We usually learned a move and either never came back to it or only came back to it like 1 or 2 times. I believe we did each move around a minute and then we were kind of like on to the next thing, but the moves themselves were kind of like more dancey. Like instead of just doing a like squat, we would do, like a grapevine and then a squat. So you're like kind of doing like Zumba vibes, which I just thought was okay. I don't know, this class like was not anything special to me. Enjoyability, I would give it like a 6 out of 10. I don't know really why I didn't like it as much, but I just feel like it like wasn't as entertaining as some of the other classes. And I think part of it is because it's not as structured well. Like a lot of the other classes, it's like, oh, we're only doing one move this song, so I know exactly what's coming up. Versus this was kind of more all over the place. Difficulty, I would give like a 7 out of 10, mostly because of the strength moves. I mean, it is majority cardio, but yeah, just be aware that, there are a few squats in this. You are going to do some standing bicycles. It's not just dancing around the whole time. But overall, it was still a good class, still like a nice way to get the heartbeat bumping in the early mornings. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to wrap my thoughts on low impact cardio here. I don't know how much I would gravitate towards low impact cardio in the future. I do think it's like a good replacement if you are walking and you just want something else, something similar intensity, but maybe something a little more entertaining. It is a cool break from like riding an indoor bike or walking on a treadmill. But for me, I typically like more high intensity cardio for the days that I do cardio. But every once in a while, I definitely can see myself taking a low impact cardio class. Every once in a while, I take a dance cardio class and I like those too. I think that the low impact cardio classes get the heart rate up a little bit more. So I might replace dance cardio with low impact cardio. They are very similar. The dance cardio is just like even more dancey than the low impact cardio. So it just depends what you want in the future. But I appreciate Peloton coming out with, something for everyone. So those are my final thoughts on the low impact cardio classes. Let me know if you take them, if you like them, or if you do any other kind of like special cardio on Peloton. I feel like they have so many collections, it's hard to choose what to try next. That is it for this video. I hope you guys are staying safe, having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.